Okay, assigning a pin to a guest user. And what is a guest user, you might be asking? Well, I'll explain this. This tutorial is a little bit longer, but there's lots of information in it. There are times during construction or my construction projects or anyone's construction projects where you don't want to invite someone into your portal. They might be subtrades, they might be one-offs, they might be people that you don't usually work with or don't always work with. You may only want to have your internal teams in your portal. At any rate, the guest user function was developed to create an email user essentially where you could create a pin from within Buildster and it would send out an email with all the pertinent information. And then the responses from the email would come back into Buildster for you. So kind of a cohesive single point of entry for information and a single point of sending information out is kind of why this was developed. So with saying that much, I'm going to just kind of create a guest user here and kind of show you the flow and show you what a guest user will see when they get a pin from you. And so you can kind of see what that whole experience looks like. So in this case here, I'm going to drop a pin as normally a logged in project that I own, and I'm going to drop a pin right on this cantilever here that is going to require a rim board to be removed and some drywall to be put on. So just like normal, you're going to select the assign to, and up at the top here you'll see this add guest user orange button. So we're going to press that, and I'm going to add the email address of the person that I want to send this to. In this case, it's one of my many Gmail accounts. And I'm going to put the guest name as Jane Doe. Okay, so it also explains in here a little bit about what a guest user is, the fact that they can't complete pins, that you will have to manually archive their pins because they are essentially getting this information through their email. So that's the one thing that you should need to read there. So now once we select the guest user here, you see Jane Doe pending guest. So the guest user isn't created until the task is sent. That's why it says pending. But like all the other pins that you create, you can add followers to guest users. Basically, these are kind of like CCs. So I'm sending an email to Jane, and I'm CCing these two people. Once these people reply, or when anyone adds a comment to a pin, Jane will get all the information via email. She'll see who's commenting, and when she replies to her email, everyone in this string here will get the responses on the pin, basically all your registered users. So it's a really kind of effective way to kind of simplify where your communication is coming from and where it's going, and also how everyone's kind of getting that communication back on a single pin. So here we go. We're going to press continue here. You're going to see the two people CC'd there, and then the Jane Doe up top. Location, I'm going to say this is the south side of building. And I'm going to say that please remove rim board and install 5/8 dense shield. Okay, I'm going to navigate to my photos, which I have a photo taken already. There's my rim board, and that has to be removed. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to create the pin. Okay, so just like normal, as you see up here on the right, it's just saving the new pin in the image. Okay, so there we go. Issue to it knows that I'm the guest user Dax, but if in any other case, it would say Jane Doe. And it's just like any other pin where the image is there, the comment, all that kind of stuff on the side here. So we'll leave this for now, and then I'm going to go to the email that so you can see kind of what the person will receive. So that's in my Safari tab here. So here's the email that was sent out. So this is what your trade worker or your guest user will see. They'll get a Buildster auto reply, and they'll see that, well, this would say, hello, Jane Doe. In most cases, this person has assigned a new pin to you. You get the address, you get all the information. Now, if this person has an account, a Buildster account with the email address that you sent them, that's all great. They will actually get this information in their Buildster app, and they'll be able to comment as normal in their Buildster app. Even though they're not a project member, they will just get that limited information from you. They'll get basically they'll get this ticket information, and that's it, and they'll be a guest user in your project. But if they don't have a Buildster account, they can sign up if they want, or they can just reply to this email to provide comments or updates. So either or kind of works in all scenarios. They might get tired of getting these emails after a while, so they might just sign up for their account under the email and have the slickness of the app to kind of push notifications to them. At any rate, they get the ticket information here, the project, the location, the most recent comment or the original comment. They have a button here, view pin on plan. So this is kind of neat. They can just tap this button here, and it'll launch the leaflet plan in a browser, and they can kind of see the pin location. So that's kind of fun. They'll get the image here, and they'll get the comment history. So if some of those followers add comments, those are all going to populate here. So Jane Doe would get another email, and there would be another comment down here. So it's very easy for Jane to kind of follow that comment history in that thread. And then if Jane wants to provide a reply to this, she can just tap reply and say, sure, sounds good. We'll have it done by Monday, latest. Okay, so that's Jane's reply. She's sending an email now, and so there's been no difference for her. She's kind of got an email and replied to the email as kind of normal. But for you, where the advantage comes in is that, or from the person using Buildster, is that when that email comes back, it kind of populates on this pin. So there's no email for me, there's no anything. All these replies kind of get organized through the Buildster backend and kind of find their way to the pins that they belong to. And no more email. So these can take 30 seconds to a minute to come in, just by the nature of kind of how the system works. So we'll just wait a second here, and it should just pop up here. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's this comment that came in. For some reason, the little red circle didn't come there. But you'll see that if I open this comment, there's Jane's comment. Sure sounds good. And now I've basically just communicated, and here's this manual archiving that I've talked about. Okay, so say I'm happy with that. I can archive this pin, and everyone will get notified that the pin's been archived and all is good. So that's kind of how guest users work, and you'll notice that when you reload your page, the guest user will be here. Again, pardon this, it should say Jane, just because I already have a registered account with that email address. But you'll see your guest users as these kind of orange guests, and then you'll see the people that don't have avatars as a blue. So it kind of organizes your trade worker ribbon so you can kind of see who's there. And then if you ever go to assign a new pin, you'll also notice that this Jane Doe, who now is defaulted to Dax because I have an account, but they will stay guests in your project, so you can also assign them pins, or you can add them as followers in the future. So the system is very flexible for that. And that is a little bit of information about guest users.